With this eclectic organic style, activating your goosebumps and making you smile. It feels good the way the bass and keys flow together. At the same time, it's raining in sunny weather. The beat's popping, the guitar is sweet. Quite unique the way we raise the levels, but they don't peak. Bringing you to another musical orgasm. Moving your fat butt starts to spasm. Don't panic, we take the game to another planet. The earth's getting hot and we still grooving, damn it. The way we think it makes the frequency soothing. At a calm and steady pace we keep moving, cause the movement and information is quite progressive. Dropping the rap in a way you can study the method. We glad cause the mission is to be thought-provoking. Examining how you do your thing, the slogan. You can do what you want to do. It's your life, baby, yes, it's your groove. You know what you know, so show me. The way we do it, I think the game approves. Yes, you can do what you want to do. It's your life, baby, yes, it's your groove. You know what you know, so show me. The way we do it, I think the game approves.
All right, y'all. It's another round of reality, another round of the oxymoronic, another round of the foolish. You know, it's like a soap opera with Maga. It's like a soap opera with Maga. And what the hell, you know, some people, you can't drag everybody to the water well to drink water, because some people have to be chased by a mob before they do that. You know what I'm saying? And yo, I almost missed this story, but the reason why I didn't miss it, strangely enough, thank you very much for the MAGA folk, the black MAGA folk, which is strange to say, because had they not been talking about it, I would have actually missed this. I would have missed it. And but here's the thing. It's funny how they do this. There's disinformation. I don't know if this is real. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the information that these black MAGA folk are starting to spread is real or if it's disinformation. I have a strange suspicion it's disinformation, because when I researched this, it says the person is unidentified, the black person. But if you check out some black MAGA sources, you know, they're saying he was African. They're saying he was African that hated FBA. That's what they're saying. And all I'm saying is that, hey, if that was the case, that sounds really strange that an African, quote unquote, as you call it, would be supporting a person that called African countries shithole countries, a person that wants to expel immigrants, a person, all. It's really strange, you know, that would be the case. There's way more chance that this was a black American that got their ass beat by MAGA. There's way more chance of that. And but as for now, black MAGA, and I'm thinking this might even be Tariq Nasheed and a whole bunch of other ones, are claiming, maybe not, but I'm thinking, because he's like one of the leaders of the FBA. And this part where I heard it, they were saying, yeah, this person didn't like FBA, and that's why they beat him up. You know, allegedly. I'm thinking it comes from Tariq Nasheed, but tell me if I'm wrong. But from what I've been able to find, it's unidentified. It's not many sources you can go to. Maybe this person has an X page that somebody found or something like that. But in any case, they beat him up. And why did they beat him up? You know, we're going to get into it today. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, if this was African American, and it's not that, I don't see why that would be so strange, because you know, they do believe in things like, you've heard MAGA people say it, that African Americans owe reparations. They're not the ones owed reparations. If anything, it's them that owe. That's big old MAGA, Mark Robinson, the guy who's running for governor of North Carolina, Trump's main man, the guy who they found out was looking at trannies in his, on websites, sex websites or whatever, leaving comments talking about it's interesting how you can do it both ways, stuff like this. I don't know. Don't quote me, not verbatim, but stuff like that. Um, yes. So let's get into this. I'm gonna blow this up. There's a video. Oh, by the way, there's a video, y'all. So like, if you don't want to see this particular act, close your eyes when I play it. I just want to warn you because they really do beat somebody's ass. And it's a black person unless they're in blackface, which I could imagine MAGA people do all the time. Probably they probably love blackface. It's probably funny to them, but yeah, let's check it out. Let's see how this really looks. Woo! This is just getting stranger and stranger by the day. Now let me see here. Okay, can I flip this back around? Right, let me see here. Okay, can I make it bigger? Here we go. Yeah, this is actually real, y'all. Black, here it is. And by the way, let me put the link in the chat too for people in case people want to check it out later. Check the link out. If you have any other sources, please come and let me know. I'm actually going to drop the link to, here's the article right here. Boom, there's the article, right? From Black Enterprise. By the way, if you want to support some of my work, you can also go here to the Azanto shop. Okay. Yep, there we go. And also, for those of you that have not voted yet, here is the link to register to vote. There's four more days, and don't stress it. If you haven't registered to vote, I mean, don't sit back. If you haven't registered to vote, you can still do it within 4 days, but try to do it within 3. You see what I mean? So you don't get somehow miss out on your opportunity. That's a link. You can go to the link. There's a lot of states you can register online. So check out and see if that's possible in your state if you still have not registered to vote. But here is the article. Now I'm going to check this article out. Now let's see here. Let's see what it says. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Blacks for Trump. Okay. Social media clowns black Trump supporter jumped by white MAGA supporters. An unidentified black man was physically attacked by 2 white men while standing in line at a Trump rally in Saginaw, Michigan. A viral video posted on X of the black Donald Trump supporter being jumped by 2 white MAGA supporters has people clowning him up and down social media timelines, y'all. The video shows an unidentified black man being physically attacked by 2 white men while standing in line at a Trump rally in Saginaw, Michigan. Bystanders were seen filming the encounter. Damn, they watched, which lasted around 20 seconds. 20 seconds is a long time when you're getting your ass beat. As the video went viral, the man labeled a MAGA supporter due to his bright red Trump hoodie and hat received more punches online as users jumped in. No. Clowning him is nothing, especially this kind of thing. It's almost, justified to clown him, even though it's serious. The mental side is deep when you are a black person supporting anti-black racist movements. I mean, that's crazy. But in any case, I'm sure the 20 seconds was worse. Democratic account holder and popular liberal laughed at the incident. Aha, what is a liberal, by the way? Is it assumed or is it just, but he laughed and said, aha, that's what they get. He said, damn, is Black Enterprise pro-Trump? But in any case, whoever wrote this article, that sounds like something funny. In any case, book influencer at What's Up Sissy. What the hell is that? Who is this? That must be Tariq Nasheed. So speak of the devil. reposted a screenshot of the attack saying, "When you do clownery," okay, that's not him though. That's obviously not him. Um, when you do clownery, here you go, Sierra. What's up, sissy? There you go. Being a Trump supporter while black. Here, they beat this man's ass. I think it was a man. They didn't even say. They said man, right? Yeah, two men and black man. Right? It's a man. Look at these cornball ass shoes too. But in any case, I might have to do something about that. All right. One user wondered why he was there to begin with. Why another questioned if he thought his attire would be enough to have him included. When 90% of the people that attend these rallies are racist, this is what you can expect. Did black Trump supporters think he was going to be welcomed at a Trump rally? Yes, they did. Apparently, that's a fact. The way black Trump supporters talk, they talk like they're accepted, which is the strangest shit on earth, if you ask me. But yeah, the question about would they be accepted, that was posed by what is it? DW Erics 2. All right. So let's see here. True words spoken. Okay, at true words spoken, compare the encounter to when a white lawmaker patted Rep. Byron Donalds, Republican of Florida, on the back of the head, referring to another way of saying "good boy." These MAGA folks, these black MAGA folks, they like that. They like being patted on the head, being called boy. Black Trump supporter gets jumped at Trump rally. Okay, so this is posted by Not Capping America, Chris Evans. Yeah, he ain't capping. I don't know if he supports Trump, but he's not capping. But so here it is. Let's take a peep, y'all. Ooh. One punch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? Oh, somebody tried to help him. What's going on here? What is going on here? Hold on. I'll give him this much. He fought back. I will give him this much. He actually fought back. Now, I don't imagine, I'm trying to think here. What type of black MAGA supporter would fight back? That's what's good. That's caught me off guard. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, do they do that? All right, let's go back. This is crazy. I didn't expect that. I really didn't expect it. Let me blow it up, man. I did not expect this at all. I expected he would just bow down and be like, "Okay, massa, I'll do what you say, massa." Let's watch it again. Is it playing? Hold on, let's bring it back. Listen to the voices in the background. Listen to the voices in the background. It sounds like yeehaw! Almost like I heard something. Get him, Jim! Get him! Get him, Jimmy! Hold on. I heard somebody. Get him! Get him! Hey, who is this person on the side? Look at this. This person on the side, they're not even trying to stop it. It's almost like they're saying, whip his ass in their mind. Here, we're going to show this N-word. We're going to show him. This dude, is that a belt or a G-string? What the hell? Hold on, let me just go back. What did this person, I want to see what this person look like here. Hold on. on now, y'all. Oh, I get it. Okay, here, go. Oh, what's up? Is it the internet now? All right, let me start this over again. Here we go. Let's see one more time. It's somebody's face in there in the background. I just wanted to make sure I could get a clip of that and see what they look like. Let's see. Is this opening up? When you do clownery, I think this is the one right here, right? When you do clownery, it must be this one. Let's see. Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Twitter. Maybe that's gonna run better direct from there, or whatever this is called, X. Yeah, the place formerly known as Twitter has been run into the ground. Okay, this. All right. Here we go. Now this is one. This is one. This is the photo. But there was another guy in the background. Okay, let me go back. This ain't it. Must be the next link. Let's see here. Wait a second. Is this on? So slow to, okay. I know what it is. Sorry about that, y'all. I gotta cut off. I got two internets running at the same time. Wi-Fi. Let me cut that off. There we go. Uses it. Now let's see here. Where is that video? One more time. Black Maga supporter gets his ass beat at a Maga rally. It's giving. Is this it? What? Okay. I think this is the link right here. Let's see here. This must be the right link. Yeah, this is incredible. This is incredible. I don't know what the idea is in this, like what the point is in somebody supporting this at this point. I could understand if you were a little confused months and months and months ago. But oh wow, look at this. This is the guy, the rep from Florida. Look at that. He palmed the back of his head. Oh my God. He palmed the back of his head. I don't usually look at Twitter, and I don't usually follow the Black MAGA stuff too deep unless they say something really, really, really outrageous, which often happens when you listen to them. But I'm talking about so shameful. It's hard to say what shameful is anymore because they've changed what the norm was for shameful. But where the hell is the video? Oh, here it is. It's coming. Come on now. Wow, my internet. Oh, here it is. For some reason, it's very, very low today. I don't get it. But yeah, the internet is slow. Did they stop it suddenly because I'm showing it or what? I don't understand. Let's see. Let's go back. Or is this the wrong video? All right. Well, I'm gonna have to pick another source. Let me see here. Let me jump to another source because this is too much. Let me see here. I can always go back to this one, but yeah, it must be the net today. It's a little slow. What can I do about that? Okay, it's working. Maybe somebody put it online here. Black MAGA supporter attacked in Michigan. I wonder how many different angles they have on this attack too. Okay, so yeah, so I see this was 6 days ago. I didn't even know this. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, but let's see what it got here. David Pack. Okay, hold on. This is it right here. Live now must show the whole thing. Yeah, this is Saginaw, Michigan. Here we go. Right there. Okay, let me see something. Now, who is the guy helping him? right there. Who is it? Damn, he got nothing. What kind of? He got on slippers. He got on them kind of Kanye West slippers too. Let me bring it back here. I just don't want to miss that. This is the guy right here. Okay, it's two of them. Yeah, what's up, Donnie? Yeah, what's the word for today? Hello, how you doing? Wow, Trump was in Michigan, but I didn't. He was. It was 6 days ago. I totally missed this. I mean, I missed it. How could I miss this? This is just. I can't say I'm surprised. It's a damn shame that it comes down to this, but some people need their ass beat before they wake up. I mean, that's really what it is. I'm not trying to promote violence, but when you're talking to these MAGA people and teaching them, trying to get them to understand that once you start picking on immigrants in this way, that sooner or later he's going to come after you too. This is proof of that. And don't get it twisted. He may not speak. He may use African Americans or MAGA as pawns in a more deadlier scheme of things, but he has zero respect. I mean, what has he said respectful about African Americans? Donald Trump, has he makes it sound like, hey, Abraham Lincoln saved y'all. You should be happy. He supported Donald Trump supported Mark Robinson for governor in North Carolina. He's still running right now. He's the one who said it's African Americans that owe reparations, that we're not owed. It's African Americans that should be paying reparations, if anything. But yet these Black MAGA people give him a pass on that. They still go forward. So once you see the words come out, the words directed at you that way, that's hateful enough. The next thing is, let's just beat your ass. That's how I see it. It's what you do when people are punks, yo. I mean, I'm just saying it like that. When you don't let people know where you draw the line at, they're going to habitually cross the line because you haven't drawn a line. But Black MAGA supporters have not drawn a line with getting dissed by Trump. It's just that simple. So why wouldn't he walk all over you? I mean, look at the rep, got his hand palmed in the back of his head. Look at all the other terrible things. He treated the Black press like shit. Women, mind you, women of your own ethnic group. I'm not sure if all of them were, and all of them have to be, but some of them were definitely African American women. I mean, he could speak however he wants. I mean, this is really getting bad. I'm expecting to see a Black MAGA person be at one of these rallies with a rope around their neck, being just walked around like a dog, to be honest with you, as for fun, just for fun. That's what I'm expecting to see. But let's just start here. Let's just focus on this real quick. I heard a Black MAGA outlet say that this was an African that has a social media page where he's dissing FBA, and that's why this happened. I don't believe that. I could be wrong, but I don't believe it. But the likeliness of this being an African American is much greater. It's much greater. So let's see here. Listen to the words they saying. People in the background. I'm gonna slow it down. I'm gonna slow this down because I want to hear what they're saying. Let me see here. Let's see. Let's go back. Get him. Who is the background screaming like that? Ah! Who is in the background screaming like that? like this is like some shit. I haven't been to the country in a long time. I'm sorry. This is they're out there just screaming their damn lungs out. Let me see here. Uh, there's a content creator with a large following. He's African American from Detroit. He's a huge Trump MAGA supporter. Okay, is this him? Is this the brother? I mean, should I call him a brother? Damn. Is this the brother right here? What's the word? Let me know. Oh my goodness. I mean, hey, I'm fair enough to say I don't know. I'm just saying I would doubt very seriously if this was an African, like I heard on the MAGA, Black MAGA, some outlet. Uh, I doubt very seriously an African would go to a Trump rally. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but it's just more likely in my mind that it's a African American, since there seem to be plenty of African American men that seem to like Trump, and like this kind of stuff, like the logic resonates in the thinking. So let's see, let's play some more. It sounded like somebody said it's not him. It sounded like somebody said it's not him. If I listen to this closely again, let me see here. Why did that just hold on? Let me see here. That was the strangest damn thing I've ever seen. 2 seconds. Let me load this back up here. It sounded like somebody said it's not him at the very end. Let me just see if that's true. Is this awesome? Okay, hold on. Damn, y'all can't hear this. I was hearing it. Sorry about that. I forgot to load it back up. Let me see. Hey, things worth knowing. Let me see here. All right, let's rock this again. Let's rock this again. Does it say? Let me see. Can y'all see this one? Oh, okay. Not yet. Here we go. Boom. Let's see. Here we go. Let me blow it back up. And I swear, in the end, he said, I believe somebody said it's not him. So let me slow it down. Get him. Oh, he got knocked over by his own homeboy getting. You hear that? It's not him. It's not him. It's not him. Anyway, y'all, Anyway. Woo! This
If you're a
is
content creator
very interesting.
of any kind, you need to check.
Interesting. Let me stop this garbage. Wow. I'm really taken back by that. I don't know what to say really. I'm expecting it to get worse. I'm expecting more to come out of this stuff than what has previously happened. I think it's going to be worse with these kind of acts because this is what this stuff is about. Ultimately, violence begot violence. A lot of people don't know what mental violence is. Um, they don't know what verbal violence is, verbal abuse, and things like that. And that's the problem with it because when you are leading with verbal abuse, verbal violence, hate, hate speech, and things like that, when that becomes a norm, then quite naturally, what comes from that is these types of physical acts after. That's the danger of hate speech. And I think we just seeing an example of it right here, live in your face. I mean, what could you expect? What else could you expect from this? I couldn't expect anything else from it, to be honest with you. This is exactly what I would expect. I'm not surprised. It's sad, but why do you take your black ass to a MAGA rally? I mean, in the first place, like, what's wrong with you? I mean, is this some sort of undercover thing going on? You want to spy on them, put on a MAGA shirt or something, and try to fit in, or do you really believe this stuff is worth watching? You got time for this? Uh, did you even vote yet? I mean, all these kind of questions come to mind. But in any case, if you know the ethnicity of this person, there's black MAGA people saying that this is not African American, implying that, they did this because he was an immigrant, not like us, not like us. I myself am not prone to believe MAGA folk, black or white, otherwise. It doesn't matter. Or Asian, if any of them exist, I don't know. I don't think they're that crazy, but I'm sure there's bound to be one. There's one of everybody, you know what I'm saying? There's always a black sheep in the family. There's always one. There's always one, but one is not the rest of them. So let me know what y'all think. Please tell me the identity so this can be not the person's name. I don't need that, but some kind of if the name is there, fine. That might lead to the identity. Like if his name is Benjamin Banneker, no, I'm joking. If his name is what could his name be? His name could be any name, a Western name. If he got a Western name like that, let me know. Um, if he has even if he's got a different kind of, first name and he still got a last Western name, let me know that. That would be a dead giveaway. Like Lumumba Johnson, let me know. Um, I'm sorry, yo, but I'm just saying, I don't. It's sad, but they survived too. They survived. People get killed every day, and on that note, hey, if it was some black people, they might have killed his ass. You never know. It's like that for some people. It's like that for some people. I mean, maybe they had mercy on him. I don't know. I want the MAGA people to tell me. Obviously, there's not many here. None of y'all is MAGA people, I would say, but this is bad. This is bad. Let me read some of the comments. Okay, let's go back here. There are There's a content creator with a large following. He is African American from Detroit. He's a huge Trump mega supporter. Yeah, I wonder if this was him. It doesn't look like it, but if that's what they wear, maybe it is him. But I wonder what he thinks about this. Why wasn't he at the rally? Where are they at? I don't know. I can't see him. Yeah. It's hard to see, right? It's hard to really get a close up. I don't want to I don't want to assume to know the identity, or the ethnicity. That's just too much. I don't have to. It's easier to ask, but if he is African American, I'd like to know. If he's not, I would like to know. Not that it means much, because we don't know what ignited it. You heard in the end of the video, there was someone who said, it's not him, it's not him. Maybe it was, a mistake of, driving while black. It was the other. It was a black person, But listen, that is the danger. When you just, this happens all the time. Innocent black person is just minding their own business, and then somebody, swears that a black person, Emmett Till, looked at them, whispered any kind of false accusation, and look at what the outcome is. So apparently, somebody was saying it's not him, and this person got in mistake identity, or maybe somebody lied and made it up just to do it. You don't know. We don't know what the circumstances. These are questions for the Black MAGA folk. I would like to know from them. How do you feel about any of that? How do you feel about mistaken identity? What if they're looking for a Nigerian immigrant, and they happen to catch your black ass and beat you to a pulp before you can even say a word? You know what I'm saying? What if you just happen to be in the same neighborhood as I don't know. What if it could be any of those things? But we know those things happen, and we know that they're not about your identity, because this has happened all the time, man. I don't understand it, but let me know if you can find out the identity. I would really like to know. I'm going to do some more searching, and I'm going to be out. But in other news, uh, in entertainment news, that is, um, Puffy got denied his third appeal for bail, which was almost automatic, because why would someone let you out, man? You're caught dead-handed beating a woman, dragging her through a hotel lobby. That's false imprisonment. That's You can get life for that. You see what I mean? One of those charges connected with that act, you can get life for 15 years to life. And if he lured her there in the first place, like, for example, if he was on the phone with her and just happened to say, yeah, yeah, I'll do that, just come, I promise you, and she came, and then that's what came out of it, that's guess what that is? That's another life charge, 15 years to life. So two of those charges are 15 years to life. That's called trafficking, when you lure someone to meet you. So that's two 15-year to life charges, and that's connected to one person. If that was the case, if you lured her there, so no judge is going to let no judge in their right mind would let a person free of that. um I don't know if that's happened before, but to me, it seems like, with all the other evidence that's there too, that would be very odd to release a person like that. So, and that's just dealing with two of the charges. He's got five right now. So um then the other news that's really sad and really, really more important is that apparently there's been a lot more flooding. Let me see something here. Let me drop the link. In New Jersey, there's some neighborhoods that are underwater, not completely underwater, but are experiencing like real flooding. Um, I did witness it. Let me just go over to that real quick. Get out of this MAGA world for a second. New Jersey flooding. There we go. I think it's right here. New Jersey flood. Car stuck in flooding. No, this is a month ago. Damn. What? Um, yeah, there seemed to have been some flooding. Hold on. Did somebody pop up here? I just heard a little noise. Yeah, somebody did. Okay, there we go. That's Pumpkin. Let me pull you in, Pumpkin. And you here now? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
been
it's
busy
some
here,
flooding, right?
but yeah, it's coming up this way too. It always does. We always get the rain, and it's coming this way. But we're gonna get a
Okay.
lot of floods, especially in New York. The subway's gonna flood. The street, well, the street where I am, they've been replacing the sewer system in the flood areas, which the pipes are over 200 years old. So
Mm-hmm.
they've been taking money and they doing in the main street, River Street, by the name. Floods like crazy. The whole street is a big pothole. It's going to take almost 2 years to get to complete it. To get it right. They
You know
had to
what?
take all this pipe out.
You know
Pipe is
what?
200 years. Galvanized pipe. It's that pipe, that soft pipe that once it bends, it closes up.
You know
But
something? And guess what? So look, all the people that were talking about global warming, climate change 10, 20 years ago, now look what's up. And they said it. The clock is ticking. And thankfully, Biden passed that infrastructure bill last year. But to do all that work, the rollout, that takes years.
yeah, it's gonna take this, and this is a
It's a
small
huge
section of
job.
town. It's
Yep.
a small section of town. What
It needs
happened? You
to be
don't use
updated.
you don't you don't use StreamYard no more?
Oh no, I changed from StreamYard though. I changed from StreamYard. No, StreamYard like doubled its price. I think it went up to like 50, almost $50 a month, something like that. And I was like, no, 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 no. It ain't that good. Forget that. I mean, if it was great,
Oh, I don't
money.
know because I haven't been doing nothing. So maybe I use this.
Yeah, now
Okay, Ralph.
this is only like $20. It's $16 for Restream. So I mean, why would I pay double up
Well,
on
how do
20?
you get Restream?
The same way as you get StreamYard, same thing.
Just go restream.com and it'll
Dot
come up.
io. Dot io. Yeah.
IO
Yeah.
dot. Oh, I see it on top.
Yeah.
Stream
There you go. Exactly.
studio dot restream.io.
No,
Okay.
just go to restream.io. The studio is when you already
Okay.
have an account. Yeah. But
Oh, okay.
but
Restream.io.
right, but back to this flooding, they've been talking about this for 20 years and people have been saying it's not real, saying this won't be happening. There won't be no more flooding. We don't need no more infrastructure. You all are crazy. And look, of course that's just in the US because the countries like the one I'm living in, they've been working on this for some time now. People have been irritated because every summer, half of the year, you can see street construction around the whole city in Copenhagen, right? But a lot of that was the people were saying, why they keep digging the street up? Some people react that way. But guess what? Nobody's complaining about it now. They did a lot of the major, like you said, the sewage. They changed over, added these huge pumps to it also to pump the water out. They put all the 70% in Copenhagen and Denmark, where I'm at. 70% of the electrical lines for businesses and homes are already underground, and they did that in like a 10-year span. You see what I mean? They moved very fast on it. The US could have done that, but you had obstructionists in political parties, mainly the Republicans,
Well,
that didn't want to do it, you know?
that's what that's what I was going to say. Look at DeSantis. He didn't want. He refused FEMA money and he denied climate change. And look at him.
He's a damn
Look at him.
fool.
Look what's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now
He
he
won't
looked like,
talk to Harris. He won't accept FEMA money. Them people are crazy down there if they vote for that man again.
and you know what?
I think they all were thinking um the what's his name was gonna win. Trump's not gonna win. He ain't gonna win.
I don't think he's,
He
oh,
was
hell
in
no.
Detroit.
He's not going
He
to win.
was in Detroit talking about how raggedy Detroit was, and he was standing in Detroit. Now, who does that?
Right. Who does that? I
You
mean,
know,
Exactly. As a matter of fact, why did I even shut this down? Let's go take a look at that too while I'm up here. I got like a half an hour. Let me see here. Let me go up here. Anybody else want to hop up? Feel free. We got like a half an hour here just to chat it up. But look at this. This is ridiculous. Let me pull this up so folks can follow what she's talking about here. It's crazy, and he's saying things like that, and you got these fools talking about they want to vote for him. It's like they don't get it. Sometimes you got to be man enough to know when you're wrong. And you MAGA black men that support MAGA, it's time for you to just admit you're wrong. And I'm not saying this for my sake because I don't live in the United States. I'm American, U.S. citizen. My family goes back to the beginning of the country, both sides. But I don't live in the U.S. The country I live in has universal health care, pays people to educate, to go to college, to go to technical school. I get 5 weeks vacation every year. If I have a child tomorrow, if by some you know that I happen to have one, I'm going to get a year off. Me and the lady is going to get a year off from work paid. You see what I mean? All I want is for my American fellow Americans to get the same treatment for the same taxes. And these black MAGA men are just something's wrong with them. They just need to man up. Man up. Stop being sissies about it. You can be wrong sometime. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to make mistakes, but man up. Admit when you're wrong. You know, especially when you're getting your ass kicked. Literally. You know what I'm saying? DeSantis, what's up with Florida? They're not worried about climate change. Florida's not worried about climate change, huh? I'm not saying it for my behalf. You could flood Florida, or if you want your home destroyed. If you don't want to live in the town, if you were born in Florida and you just don't want to live there no more, just pretend climate change doesn't matter. But I tell you who will be living there, the alligators. The alligators, the turtles, the birds, the cranes, all those birds that eat them, those frogs and shit like that, they will be living in Florida. Guess who won't be? You won't be, because of your policies that you support. So admit it. I mean, you're much better off admitting it. You're much a bigger man when you can admit when you're wrong about something, or woman, because there's also some women, than when you're not, And at some point, you just have to say, hey, man, it's been a rough one. Let me see here. What is this, man? Look, hold on. Pumpkin, let me drop the link. I think Pumpkin just logged out. Let me see. Ralph said Jersey never had support and it will go down with New York. Who knows, Ralph? But I mean, I don't know if that's true, but I know one thing that is true. MAGA supporters think climate change is a hoax, and their states are getting hit way hard. I mean, Jersey's getting hit, New York's going to get hit, but you know what? The point is, what do you support? Pumpkin, she believes in climate change. She wants her tax dollars going to work to avoid the flooding, to avoid the damaging of homes, to avoid the closing of schools, to avoid all of these things, right? The pollution of the water, the drinking water. She wants those things. So at least she got that part right. You can't complain about, about what's going on if you don't at least get the politic right. And she's got the politic right. So, that's better that puts them ahead of some other places. Let me see here. New Jersey had FEMA jobs paying underwage jobs. I don't believe that, Ralph. Often you're saying things that are not real, that you heard from somewhere that you don't get. And right now, that information you say, the way you're saying it can't be accurate, but you can always bring the proof. You know what I'm saying? You can prove that I'm wrong when I'm saying it, but I got to tell you off the top, it doesn't sound right. And it sounds and also be careful about what you say, because the fact of the matter is that right now, FEMA is saving lives, you know, and the lies and the disinformation is killing people. And so I would hate for people to be hurt just because they're getting false information. That's not cool. It's not cool to put stuff out there. So when we're talking about FEMA and we're talking about the agencies that are supposed to be helping us, let's be accurate. I mean, it's okay to criticize, but let's not just say things we can't prove. You know, um, what is he talking about? Oh, you in the chat? Hold on, I didn't know. Oh, there you go. Look, Ralph, there you go. Now prove me wrong. You wrote in the back chat, I can't be heard. You're wrong. So prove me wrong. Go ahead. Drop the link. Where's the information at? You up, Ralph? You can talk. You in now. I see it. I'm reading from you. Private chat. Ralph says, I can't be heard. You're wrong, VB. And then Ralph says, I'm on your link. Okay, so come on. Drop the information, Ralph. Because if you don't drop the information, then it's going to look like what you're saying is not real. You know what I'm saying? And in a disaster, we need to be caring enough to back up the things that we're saying, I don't. Yeah, he talking about now you can't. And well, hop off and hop back in, man. I mean, what can I do? I can't do anything about that. But I do know Bev was just up here, bro. What can I do, man? So but you can still drop the link. So it doesn't matter if you can talk or you can't hear. You're in, you can drop the link with the information. Drop your source for what you just said. That's all it's about. Drop the source. But again, I don't really believe that at all. I don't believe anything about that. FEMA had jobs paying underwage. Yeah, I don't believe it offhand. As a matter of fact, I can just find it. To me, it just doesn't even sound right. Now, there might be some other thing going on that you're not mentioning that's very important to mention, that's factual regarding some minimum wage job that somebody had, but I don't think it's from FEMA. I don't think FEMA pays anybody minimum wage. What's up, Ralph? Yeah, I hear you. You can talk. Your mic. It's your mic, bro. It's not me. I can't do it. It's like you're on. You're not muted. Yeah, you're not muted. But here we go. But in any case, the bottom line is if you don't believe in global warming, if you don't believe in climate change, then you don't believe in it. There's nothing you need to do about climate change if you don't believe in it. Trump doesn't believe in climate
Oh,
change.
here we go. Can I be
Yeah.
heard now?
Go ahead, but I wasn't stopping you. So
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know if you can hear me and I was having an issue. I think it hooked up to
I
my
can hear you.
Bluetooth.
Oh,
So
okay.
what you
Okay.
said, the information about me saying FEMA on the wage jobs, you're
Yeah.
wrong because I work for FEMA and
No,
Hurricane Sandy.
Ralph. I said drop the link. Drop the link.
No,
Drop
I
the
can't
link.
drop it. I got to drop a pay stub. I got to drop a pay stub. I work
Drop
for
the
them.
pay stub. Drop the pay stub then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got to have. You want me to go to 2014, 2015? I got to go find a 2014, 15. I'll make sure I put that in your link. They were paying people $15, $16 an hour to clean up they was getting us from New Jersey, East Orange. I did get us from Newark, East Orange, and Pumpkin can tell you too. When they had that hurricane, they were reaching out. We had to go to South
When
Florida,
was that?
Jersey
When
City.
was that? When was
So
that?
she
That was
knows that
2020.
the FEMA was handing out jobs at that time.
But when was that? What date did you say?
Like 2014, it's Hurricane Sandy. When they had Hurricane Sandy and they hit New Jersey and it was under flooding. New York was under flooding.
Okay.
They were talking about putting new pipelines. They were talking about putting doing new seweraging, uplifting New York being tilted. And
Oh, are you talking about part-time workers or temporary workers? Is that what you're talking about? Because I mean, I'm just saying, typically FEMA don't pay part-time. Typically they pay well above. So I'm just trying to get some clarification on that. And even if they do pay part-time, what's the problem? You trying to say that people worked, but they just took the job, but they didn't want to do the job because they decided that even though they took the job, it don't pay enough for them to do the job? Is that the point? What is the point, bro? That's what I don't get. I mean, you in a disaster. The issue is been talked about for 20 years. 20 years. And for 20 years, there's been a political party that hasn't moved on it, that's been calling it a hoax. Right now, you have people calling it a hoax. I think the governor of Florida is calling it a hoax. Trump calls it a hoax. So where do you stand? Do you think climate change is a hoax? Do you think politicians that call it a hoax want to do something about it? Because I don't. I think they don't. The ones that say that are indicating they don't want to do anything about it. And how do you do something about it when you can't identify the problem? So I don't see why I don't see why anybody would have an issue with climate change. You have to give it a name. Is it the name that scares people? Climate change. No, because how can the climate change? Well, you want it to be called extreme climate change or extreme climate changes or weather pattern changes or what is it? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing I don't get. Go ahead. You there? Hold on. Oh, okay, you back up. Hold on. Let me put you back in. Let's see you hop back up. Go ahead, Ralph. Ralph.
So okay. I do
you
believe in
in
climate change. I believe in HARP. Yeah, I do believe in HARP, and I believe it's destruction against our people.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the policies of climate change. Where you can go out and instead of go find a machine and stop it, where you actually go and say, "Hey, we need to fix the sewage systems so that more water can be pumped out of the cities faster, so it doesn't flood the streets." I'm talking about shoring up the waterways so that they don't come through the river and just go over the riverbanks and flood everybody's community. I'm talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about change some of the energy.
Well, in that case, then no, I don't believe in it. I believe that's a hoax because that should have been done. That should have been done so long ago, man. From the early, from what we understand, from what I understand, this should have been done. In like when they started having ports, like when they started bringing in shit from slavery, that should have been done way back then.
No, Ralph. If you catch herpes, look, Ralph. If you catch chlamydia, does it matter if you recognize you got chlamydia today or 2 months later? It doesn't matter. What matters is
yes, it does. It does matter.
No, listen. Not if your point is to do something about it. You first have to know it, right?
Right. That's why the faster you know about it, the faster you can get rid of something or do something about something.
So do you know about it now, or do you just blame it on HARP?
Because I've been known about it. No, I do know about it. Okay, and I'm going to say this. Before us getting a little, thrown out of there, I'm trying to tell you, Vivi, when you said something earlier, I was like, damn, is it really not? Have you ever really been?
Ralph, how are you going to? Are you literally going to go down the street in New Jersey and say, "Hey, y'all better go do something about HARP. That's how we're going to fix this flooding"? Is that really what you're doing? I'm serious. You can't spread conspiracy information like that, bro. That's not cool. It's really not cool. And like I was saying, you can't. If you go to the doctor and you find out that, damn, I done had chlamydia for a whole damn month, 2-3 months. How come I didn't know 3 months ago? Well, and then the doctor tell you, well, you should have known something about it 2 or 3 months ago. So forget it. We ain't going to do nothing about it at all. That's not cool. People know that there's climate change. They've witnessed it. The weather is not the same. What's going on right now, it's not the same as it was 20 years ago. But scientists warned people. They warned because they were measuring these things. The everyday person is not measuring it. So they warned people. They did their job, man. People didn't listen. Political parties, the Republican Party shut it down. That's what they did. The Republican Party called it a hoax. The Republican Party did not want to invest in communities. They didn't want to do it. Even George Bush didn't want to do it. He didn't even want to do it. So this stuff has been creeping on states like Florida. It's been creeping. And I'm not just saying that it's only Florida. No. But the reality is that other countries are doing things about it, keeping people in their homes, burying their power lines. So these people, these businesses get to stay open because they acted early enough. What's happening right now in the US is those businesses don't get to stay open. Those people don't get to stay in their home. No matter what you call it, somebody's not doing something. And I think it's only the politics that's stopping Americans. When you look around and you see everybody else acknowledging it, there's even poor countries that are saying, yeah, climate change exists, but it's the industrial nations' fault because they're the ones that have been polluting the air. That's what small nations are saying. Poor nations are saying they're only against the protocol of implementing some new measures regarding climate change because they don't have the money to. That's what they're complaining about. And here you are in a country where you got all the money and you still don't know that it exists. It's crazy, Yeah, I just don't understand it, man. At some point, and I'm gonna tell you again, I still have I'm in my apartment. Where's the flooding? They already done dug up these everywhere where I live. The entire city. They already worked on these pipes years ago. They've been doing this every year, constantly digging up the city, working on it. The power lines. You look out my window, you don't see a power line for miles and miles, and it don't exist because they buried them. That means even if there is a flood, buddy, I got electricity. I'm still in my home. You see what I'm saying? This is about action so people can stay in their homes, keep their property. Who gives a fuck what you call it? Do something. Do something about it. And the reality is that you haven't. There's been people that came with the solution. The same people that talked about climate change here, that's the same climate change they're talking about in the US. Here, they did something. In the United States, they fucking didn't. And why didn't they do it? Because the Republican Party is just dumb. They're just dumb. They're just dumb. They want people put out of their homes. Maybe it's not dumb. Maybe it's sinister. Maybe that's the conspiracy. Maybe they actually want you pushed out of your goddamn home. Ralph, you ever thought about that? You see what I'm saying? Maybe they want people like Pumpkin pushed out of her home. You see? I mean, do you have the money? Do you have the money? Do you have the money to bury your own power lines? Do you have the money to circumvent the damage that's going to come from those hurricanes? At least the flooding. Man, I don't know what to say about this, but I mean, VB, you need to be more accountable for statements you make. Have you ever worked for FEMA? No, I haven't worked for FEMA, but it's right here. The reality is your statement. It's your statement. You talking about HARP. What are you talking about? FEMA is saying, stop talking about conspiracy theories. It's you that need to be responsible, man. It's you. You need to be responsible for what you're saying, bro, because really the bottom line is Trump didn't do a damn thing about HARP, right? The person you support didn't do a damn thing. Bush didn't do a damn thing. You see, they didn't even talk about it when they got in office. They talk about it when they're not in office. As soon as they get in office, no more HARP exists. HARP only exists when the Republicans aren't in power. That's the only time HARP exists. When they have the majority and when they're in power, all of a sudden HARP disappears. That's exactly what happened. What happened to the infrastructure plan that Trump had? He talked about it. didn't pass no bill, didn't push Congress to pass a bill. What his plan was is weak infrastructure talks. That's it. No bill, no call for anybody to do a bill, nothing. They didn't do it. You see what I mean? So it doesn't, well, here's the thing. Biden did. You're talking about Obama didn't, Trump didn't. Biden did. And Trump's running for office right now, and he's saying it's a hoax. So you're voting for the hoax. That's what you're voting for. That's the reality of it. And you will be responsible for the people who are affected. You will, because that's what these false information, this disinformation does, man. It harms people's lives, bro. You can't have it both ways. I mean, sometimes you got to just admit when you're wrong. Now, the same climate change they're talking about in the US, the Democrats are talking about, it's the same climate change all the political parties here in Denmark are talking about. And they did something about it. That's the point. You know, they didn't do anything about it in the US. So too late. That's the bottom line. So let me see something here. Hold on 2 seconds.
The death toll from Hurricane Helene is now more than 200 people, 220 people, while hundreds more. Such tragic figures didn't stop some of the extreme members of the Republican Party from gaslighting the American public about the cause of the storm, with Marjorie Taylor Greene tweeting, and I quote, "Yes, they control the weather. It's ridiculous for anyone to lie and say it can't be done." So, Marjorie, who are they? Who are the they you are referring to? Exactly. Democrats? Jewish space lasers? Who knows? Meanwhile, Donald Trump appeared alongside Georgia Governor Brian Kemp after surveying the damage left by Hurricane Helene in a battleground state. It was yet another opportunity for Trump to bash and lie about the Biden White House for its hurricane response, despite his own unhinged response to disasters when he was president. Jonathan Allen, Sarah Matthews, and Valencia Johnson are back with me. So this is probably, in many respects, some of the most asinine and galling parts of what comes out of this Republican Party, Sarah, is in a moment of national crisis where we're all trying to deal with what happened. We have loved ones and friends who have been affected by the storm. The government is pulling together its resources to respond accordingly. You have these individuals who want to go out and deliberately put out misinformation. So, for example, you have FEMA now having to warn of Helene misinformation, having to launch a rumor response page on their website so that people will get the facts. What the hell's wrong with these people? I mean, these aren't the same people that you and I worked with over these many years. I just don't get it. I mean, in a national tragedy, you love Donald Trump so much that you're going to parrot that kind of crazy out there and promote conspiracy, which, quite frankly, could wind up having people hurt and harmed, not getting the resources and the help they need because they're following Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene stupid down a rabbit hole?
Yeah, it's very clear to me Republicans are not sending their best and brightest to Washington anymore. It is unimaginable to me that at a time when so many of our fellow Americans are suffering, going through probably the worst experience of their lives right now. And what do these politicians decide to do? Politicize it. And what does Donald Trump try to do? Spread lies about it. He was saying that the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, couldn't get in touch with Joe Biden. The governor said that wasn't true, that Biden offered him anything that his state needed. Now Trump is out there saying that FEMA, they don't have enough money for relief for the victims of the hurricane because they were using that money on undocumented immigrants. Right. And the crazy thing is that Washington Post did a fact check, and it was actually Donald Trump during his administration who was taking money from FEMA in the relief fund to use on undocumented immigrants, not the Biden administration.
I'm glad you brought that up, because Valencia, when you look at that, you had Trump initially refused to approve disaster aid for California after deadly wildfires in 2018 because of the state's Democratic leanings. An ex-aide told Politico, adding that Trump changed his mind after Harvey pulled voting results to show him that the heavily damaged Orange County, California, had more Trump supporters than the entire state of Iowa. At that point, Donald Trump was, okay, then we can put some aid in there.
I mean, if there's anyone clearly having a pattern of making this about politics, it is Donald Trump. And it's extremely frustrating. Over 200 Americans have been dead and have been found dead and counting, right? These are families. People have lost their entire livelihoods, right? Like, they can't go back to their homes. And the other piece of this is I just continue to have that image of Donald Trump in contrast to, in moments like this, we are looking for a comforter in chief, right? Someone that can literally go anywhere, red state, blue state, and literally be there to say, I am here with you. Donald Trump was in Puerto Rico tossing paper towels at people, right? And I remember when, like, we laughed at it because it was crazy. It's so inhumane. Yeah. And for this man to come out and lie, but then the other sad piece of this is that there are so many people who believe what he says versus the numerous fact checks that are out there by actual credible journalists. So in addition to the Republican Party having to rebuild itself once, they get through Trump, we also have to sow more trust in actual facts and journalism in this country after him, because there is no reason that we are disputing these facts when Brian Kemp is literally, we missed each other's phone call, but we eventually start talking to each other.
And so that's a nice pivot to you, sir, back to the media, because, as another fact check in 2017, North Carolina, after Hurricane Matthew, made the request for aid. The Democratic governor of the state at that time, Roy Cooper, made the request. And Donald Trump's FEMA, under the instructions that I presume came from somewhere up the chain, only gave them 1% of the money that they wanted. How in your position, when you guys are sitting down and covering, how do you get these stories out in a way to help people understand what the not just what the fact check is, but what the history, because we've got two sightings right here, just in 2017 and 2018, where the Trump administration did something very different than what they're blaming the current administration for doing. How do you guys cover that aspect?
Check this out. Now, I'm going to answer Ralph's question, which I've been trying to explain to him, that he's got his facts incorrect. He's saying, why no government took a stand? Now, first of all, the article that I put in the link is Trump in 2019, while he was president, while he's in office, the person that can actually call Congress to make a bill, he called it a hoax. He did it the exact opposite. You see, calling it a hoax means no one should do anything about it. See, because the president has the power of veto, so he won't sign it when he thinks it's a hoax. That's the point. When you say that and you're the president, you're signaling Congress and the Senate that you're not going to sign anything with that language on it. Now, he asked again, why have the government take no stand? So here we go. Let's go to and find out if that's true. Okay. Now, here's the simple question. Anybody can ask it, right? Let me go down to this part. Here we go. Two answers came back from this question. What part of the infrastructure bill passed under Biden is specific to climate change. I hope everybody can see that. Let me pull this up, and now we're going to play it, and anybody can feel free to get a different prove it wrong. But here's the answer. Let's see here. Did this? Let me see. Why is this in the wrong language? Let me see. Let's go. Let's play it.
The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, often referred to as the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, passed under President Biden in November 2021, includes several provisions specifically aimed at addressing climate change. These measures focus on reducing carbon emissions, building climate resilience, and transitioning to clean energy. Key climate change provisions in the infrastructure bill. 1. Clean energy investments. $73 billion is allocated for upgrading the electric grid to expand renewable energy sources and improve resilience against extreme weather events. Investments are made to build a nationwide network of electric vehicle EV chargers, with $7.5 billion allocated for this network. This aims to support the growth of EVs, reducing reliance on fossil fuels. Number 2, public transit and rail. $39 billion for public transit improvements and $66 billion for railways, which will help reduce emissions from the transportation sector by promoting cleaner and more efficient transit options. 3. Climate resilience. $47 billion is dedicated to improving resilience against climate impacts like wildfires, flooding, and extreme weather. This includes investments in infrastructure designed to better withstand the effects of climate change. 4. Clean water. $55 billion is allocated for water infrastructure improvements, including addressing lead pipes and upgrading water systems to deal with droughts and rising temperatures, which can exacerbate water shortages. 5. Carbon capture and hydrogen. The bill includes $8 billion for developing clean hydrogen production and establishing regional hydrogen hubs, part of a broader strategy to decarbonize industries. It also provides $3.5 billion for carbon capture and sequestration technology, aimed at reducing emissions from industrial processes and energy production. 6. Environmental remediation. The bill includes $21 billion to clean up environmental hazards, such as abandoned oil and gas wells, brownfields, and Superfund sites, which not only reduce pollution but also mitigate future climate-related risks. These investments are a central part of the Biden administration's broader climate strategy, which seeks to reduce U.S. greenhouse gas emissions while making the country's infrastructure more resilient to the impacts of climate change. For additional insights, you can visit sources like the White House, whitehouse.gov/briefing-room/statement-releases 2021/1106 President and -Biden on passage of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, or congress.congress.gov/congress/bill 15th Congress House Bill/3684.
I mean, it's not hard to find the information. It's not hard. The information is actually very easy to find when someone asks the questions. And saying, Biden didn't do anything, it's HARP. Saying all those things, those aren't questions. So when you don't ask questions, you don't get answers. You can't get them. But and first of all, always start off when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, start off from that perspective. That's what I do. I don't assume I know everything. I assume I don't, and therefore ask questions. And a lot of MAGA supporters assume they know what the fuck they're talking about, and they don't ask any questions. They spend a lot of time telling people false information that they haven't really checked out on. So here, let's just see. This is the follow-up question. The follow-up question was, what bill have Biden, I said it wrong, but has Biden signed that is related to updating sewage capacity to avoid flooding in the USA? It's very simple. Here, let me read it. President Biden signed the Infrastructure Investment Job Act, also known as the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, in November 2021, which includes provisions aimed at improving the nation's sewage and stormwater systems to prevent flooding. Key provisions related to sewage and flooding. $55 billion for clean water infrastructure. You do know that flooding pollutes the water, the drinking water? Yes, it does, because when the flooding gets so high that it gets into the reservoirs, it pollutes it. You see? And they're not prepared to deal with that, with the flooding of the seawater, the filth of the water, wherever the water's coming from. The water could be coming from a river, the water could be coming from the sea, it could be coming from a lot of spaces. But the water is one thing, because if you don't have drinking water or clean drinking water, that's going to last. That's not going to just change in a day or two. The flooding might dissipate on the streets, but then you still got no water, right? So here, let's see what it says here. Apparently, there's been a lot just about sewage, and it's been a lot more than Trump ever called for. Again, Trump called it a hoax in 2019 while
President Biden signed the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, also known as the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, in November 2021, which includes provisions aimed at improving the nation's sewage and stormwater systems to prevent flooding. TASH. Key provisions related to sewage and flooding. 1. $55 billion for clean water infrastructure. A significant portion of this funding is designated for upgrading water and sewage systems. This includes replacing lead pipes and improving sewage capacity to handle increasing stormwater and prevent urban flooding, which is exacerbated by climate change. 2. Climate resilience funding. $47 billion is allocated for climate resilience, which includes addressing flooding risks by enhancing infrastructure such as stormwater management systems and sewage systems to better cope with extreme weather events. 3. Flood prevention and stormwater management. The bill provides support for flood prevention measures through the upgrading of outdated water systems, which are critical for reducing the risk of flooding during storms, by increasing the capacity of sewage systems to handle heavy rainfall and runoff. These updates are part of a broader effort to modernize the country's infrastructure to meet the challenges of a changing climate, including more frequent and severe flooding events. For more information, you can visit sources like thewhitehouse.whitehouse.gov/briefing-room/statements-releases/2021/06/president-biden- on passage of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, and congress.gov, www.congress.gov bill/17th Congress/bill 3684.
Yes. Next question. What states have accepted federal dollars under the Biden administration to implement climate, let me spell that right, climate change infrastructure upgrades on the state level? Here we go. Let's see what that one comes back with. Now we're going to name the states that have accepted the money, since Ralph wanted to say Biden ain't do nothing. None of the presidents done nothing. 3 in a row. No, one of them didn't do a damn thing. That's Trump. And Trump didn't do a damn thing when people begged him to do it, because he said it was a hoax. He did not call Congress or the Senate to do anything. He signaled to them that it was a hoax. And so therefore, you need not do anything. You need not lift a finger. Not only that, he was slow on the federal rollout to even call it a disaster when he was the president. Here, let's listen.
Under the Biden administration, several states have accepted federal dollars to implement climate change infrastructure upgrades as part of programs funded by the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act and the Inflation Reduction Act, IRA. These funds support clean energy projects, climate resilience, water system improvements, and transportation upgrades. Below are examples of states that have actively accepted and implemented these federal funds for climate-related projects. 1. California, wildfire resilience. California has received substantial federal funding to improve wildfire resilience through forest management and infrastructure upgrades to prevent wildfires. Electric vehicle e-infrastructure. California has leveraged federal dollars to expand its EV charging network as part of its goal to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from the transportation sector. 2. New York, flood and storm resilience. New York has utilized federal dollars to update its aging water and sewage systems to better handle storm surges and flooding, particularly in areas like New York City that are vulnerable to extreme weather. Energy efficiency programs. The state has also received federal funds to enhance its energy grid and increase the use of renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar power. 3. Texas, energy grid upgrades. Following widespread outages during the 2021 winter storm, Texas has accepted federal money to modernize its power grid to improve resilience to extreme weather events and integrate renewable energy. 4. Louisiana, coastal and flood resilience. Louisiana, a state highly vulnerable to hurricanes and sea level rise, has accepted federal dollars to invest in coastal restoration projects and fortify infrastructure against storm surges and flooding. 5. Florida, resilience against flooding and hurricanes. Florida has utilized federal funds to improve infrastructure that mitigates flooding and hurricane damage, including upgrading stormwater systems and reinforcing coastal barriers. 6. Michigan, water infrastructure. Michigan has used federal funding to update its water and sewage systems, addressing issues like lead pipe replacement and enhancing sewage capacity to prevent flooding in urban areas. 7. Arizona, water conservation and drought resilience. Arizona has accepted federal funds to improve water infrastructure to deal with ongoing drought conditions and enhance the resilience of its water systems. 8. Colorado, clean energy and wildfire protection. Colorado has used federal dollars for clean energy initiatives and wildfire resilience, improving its energy grid and investing in renewable energy projects. 9. North Carolina, flood mitigation and clean energy. North Carolina has used federal money for flood mitigation projects and to promote the use of clean energy, including expanding solar and wind power infrastructure. These states have taken advantage of the various funding opportunities provided by the federal government for climate change adaptation and infrastructure resilience. The specific programs vary by state and address local needs, including upgrading water systems, improving the electric grid, expanding clean energy, and protecting against natural disasters. For more detailed information, you can explore state-specific initiatives through sources like the U.S. Department of Energy and the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, or visit official state government websites.
Follow-up question. How many of these states have begun projects on the ground utilizing federal funding passed by the Biden administration? Just a follow-up question. And again, these are questions I'm asking. I'm not telling you, I'm not talking down to you. I'm not telling you you're a failure. I'm not telling you nothing's going to be done. I'm not telling you nothing can be done about it. I'm not telling you Trump controls HARP. I'm not telling you HARP is to blame. I'm not telling you any of those things because those things can't be found. You can't find them. But what you can actually see right here, you see, is the dollars. You can't know if HARP is doing something. I mean, you can't just guess your way through it. Now, you might believe HARP. You might believe there's a scientist behind all of this flooding and not Mother Nature, right? You might believe that, but you also have to believe that this is going on at the same time because you can see this too. I mean, after all, how did you hear about HARP? You read about it. So now we're going to find the states that have already started projects based on the funding.
Several states have already begun implementing on-the-ground projects, utilizing federal funding from the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, IIJA, and the Inflation Reduction Act, IRA. These projects focus on clean energy, climate resilience, and infrastructure upgrades. Here's a breakdown of some states actively putting these funds to work. 1. California, wildfire mitigation and clean energy. California has used federal funds to support wildfire prevention projects and expand its renewable energy capacity, including investments in wind and solar energy. 1666. Electric vehicle EV infrastructure. The state is working on expanding its EV charging network as part of a broader climate initiative using federal dollars. 166. New York. Flood protection. New York is upgrading its water infrastructure to better handle flooding, particularly in areas prone to storm surges like New York City. The state has broken ground on projects to improve stormwater systems and sewage capacity. 160 source. Renewable energy projects. Federal funding has helped jumpstart clean energy projects, including offshore wind farms and energy storage solutions. 166 source. 3. Texas, power grid upgrades. Following the 2021 winter storm, Texas began updating its energy grid with federal funds to prevent future power outages, while also increasing grid resilience to extreme weather. 166 source. Hasher 4. Louisiana, coastal restoration and flood protection. Louisiana has been actively using federal money to fortify its coastal areas against hurricanes and sea level rise. Coastal resilience and flood protection projects have been started. 166 source. 5. Michigan, water infrastructure. Michigan has begun projects to upgrade its water systems using federal funds, including replacing lead pipes and expanding sewage capacity to reduce the risk of flood source. 6. Arizona, water conservation projects. Arizona, facing ongoing drought conditions, has launched water conservation projects, such as improving irrigation systems and expanding water storage with federal funding. 166 source. Has 7. Colorado, clean energy initiatives. Colorado has broken ground on renewable energy projects, including wind and solar energy generation, using federal dollars aimed at reducing carbon emissions. 8. North Carolina, flood mitigation. North Carolina has begun projects aimed at reducing the impact of flooding in vulnerable areas, improving stormwater infrastructure with federal support. 60 source. Summary. States like California, New York, Texas, Louisiana, Michigan, Arizona, Colorado, and North Carolina have started real on-the-ground projects utilizing federal climate funding. These projects include infrastructure improvements for water and energy systems, flood prevention, wildfire mitigation, and the expansion of clean energy initiatives. For more detailed updates on state-level projects, you can consult government resources or specific state energy and infrastructure departments.
People can go to those resources if they want to. That's if they have questions. But if you know it all, you don't have to. You don't have to if you already know these things. But I'm saying them because I didn't know them. And I think people need to know, because what I keep hearing often from MAGA supporters is nothing like this. They're almost in complete denial, total denial. Now, let me go to Trump's time in office. We just only dealt with Biden's time addressing climate change thus far, with a hostile Republican Party being the, do nothing party, the party that wants to block anything for people. Here's what Donald Trump did in his time. Let's see here. Right, here we go. I hope everybody can see this. Donald Trump called climate change a hoax. This is Times. This is the Time magazine. Donald Trump called climate change a hoax. Now he's awkwardly boasting about fighting it. So here, let's see here.
Every single one of the signatories to the Paris Climate Accord lags behind America in overall emissions reductions. Who would think that is possible?
But I'm going to tell you that's a lie, because I'm in one of the countries that doesn't lag behind it. What are you talking about? That's just a flat out lie. And anyone that would just automatically believe that statement or be confused it only means that you've never really looked into the matter. That's what that means. Because anybody that ever really looked into the matter would know what Trump just said was false. Why he's saying these false things? I don't know. He's the president. He has access to all the information. He could inform his own citizens, but apparently he doesn't want his citizens informed.
All of this with the global warming and that, a lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay?
If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, congratulations. Your house just went down 75% in value. And they say the noise causes cancer.
Well, what's the value of people's homes now? What's the value of their home now? In Florida, what's the value of the home now in places where the flooding exists? What's the value? Again, climate change is something that scientists have been talking about, governmental scientists, for about 20 years now. You see, and they already said 20 years ago we were behind on the problem. The time to act is now. That's what they said 20 years ago. So anybody that's saying anything else but that is a part of the problem. And they're part of the problem based on the ignorance of the topic. That's it. And folks just need to admit it and move on, you know?
Their plan is estimated to cost our economy nearly $100 trillion.
This is really the project of a lifetime. Nobody knows how much it's going to cost, especially when you're so far behind. See, when you're 20 years behind a problem, you haven't even begun to do anything. You know, you haven't even taken step one. And I want to congratulate Biden and Harris for taking step one, so that nobody else has to take step one. Now what we're expecting is that the next president takes step two, and the one after that takes step three, and they call Congress to act and continue to acting, because this problem is not going anywhere. Florida is going to keep experiencing hurricanes, and the damage is going to be there until the infrastructure is complete. Now, the infrastructure has started in those states that I already mentioned, that we mentioned: California, New York, Louisiana, Florida. Even Florida, they're trying to erase the mention of climate change from any state law, which is ridiculous. How can you receive federal dollars for climate change, and now on the state level you're trying to, remove it? So Republicans don't know what the hell they're doing in general, and people should not trust them on this issue or any issue that is really important, especially an issue of your home or your business, and anything else, your taxes, your social benefits from your taxes you pay. I mean, folks should not just trust them, anymore, really.
From day one, my administration has made it a top priority to ensure that America is among the very cleanest air and cleanest water on the planet.
Did he call for any bills? Did he call for anything? Or did he just say that? Keep in mind, this video you're watching is from 2019. They're talking about Trump here. This is 2019. They're talking about Trump while he's in office and his comments about climate change specifically.
Above all, we will remain loyal to the American people and be faithful stewards of God's glorious creation from sea to shining sea.
Yeah, that was the Times, and that's 2019. Now it says President Donald Trump has falsely called climate change a hoax invented by China, incorrectly suggested that wind turbines cause cancer, right? If you know what wind turbines are, this is clean, renewable energy from nature. You put a windmill up, it moves because of the wind is blowing, and you get electricity out of it. Okay, you don't have to use gas anymore, okay, to create that effect when it's free from Mother Nature. All right, and dismissed the landmark significant scientific report produced by the federal government. Look at this. He dismissed a landmark scientific report produced by the federal government's own scientist. That is what Donald Trump did. That's what he did. You see, I'm sorry, folks. You know, it comes a time where things change, climate change. And the attitude that people are going to have towards ignorance about this topic is not going to be favorable for the people that have ignorance on this topic. You know, there's a time where wackos have to stop interfering in progress. And the United States is, in terms of first world countries, in terms of Western countries, the United States is behind. Period. You just have to understand that. Just like they're behind on health care, they are also behind on climate change. And the reason why you're seeing the damage is not that hurricanes are going to continue for a while. Fires are going to continue for a while, but reducing them is being hindered by ignorance and the lack of action that should have happened 20 years ago. It should have happened in Trump's period. He should have called for it. He didn't call for anything. He talked about it. That's different. He never called Congress to act. He never called for the Senate to act. Biden is the president that did. Now, let me see here. I'm going to read a little bit more of this article. Matter of fact, I put the article in the chat already. People should read it. But if you think that everything is like liberal media, and so therefore I don't have to read it, or therefore it's automatically not true, so without any research, this shit is true. If you don't think it's true, it's because you haven't done the research. You're dismissing it, which is what the MAGA supporters have become now in the United States. They just dismiss stuff. They don't, they don't care. You see what I mean? Now, this is what another individual said. Let me see here. Blames Democrats for the hurricane. I mean, where did she get this from? Where did she get this from? This is what's happening right now. This is what's happening right now. Look at this. Look at this. This is just
tonight's Fact or Fiction is brought to you by America's Finest Carpet.
Tonight, we're looking into a story getting a lot of buzz in the last 24 hours. It claims Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene is implying Democrats caused Hurricane Helene to harm Republicans. And folks, this one is true. Last night, Greene wrote on X, quote, "Yes, they can control the weather. It's ridiculous for anyone to lie and say it cannot be done." While she didn't say exactly who they are, the post came just hours after Green posted this map showing the political lean of the areas impacted by the hurricane. And as you can see, there is definitely more red than blue. Green has pushed many conspiracy theories in the past, including some which have been called anti-Semitic. If you would like to submit a question to us, just go to 10news.com and click on fact or fiction.
Now, Ralph, you saying show the proof. I don't know if you read your sister's comment in the chat just before yours. It's okay to read the comments there. That's what it's for, to inform people. Now, you can inform people that nothing's been done around you, your eyesight, but there's loads of other people that are seeing the work being done actively. You see what I mean? So I don't know where you are or why you're not seeing these things. I can't account for that. But what I can do is acknowledge that someone else has a different experience than you, you know? So here it is right here. It's things worth knowing. Bev, she says, and she's directing this comment to you, Ralph. Ralph, I live in New Jersey in a flood zone, and there has been no flooding, and they are upgrading all of the sewer to prevent flooding. Yes. See, the rollout that started under Biden, right, with passing the infrastructure bill, Ralph, it has begun. It is not finished. You know, in a process, you start something, and then it takes time for you to go through every part of the state. That's called a rollout. Right now, if you want to know specifics about that, I suggest you contact the state of New Jersey and ask them what they're doing about it. Don't just talk down about people in New Jersey, because that's not the same thing. You know, talking down about them is not the same as knowing, Ralph. It's simply not. It's not good enough anymore, especially right now. Bev, you there? Ralph, you missed it on. Ralph, if you didn't see it, you missed it because it was already shown to you. You need to rewind the program because it's been shown. Okay. The bills have been passed. The federal dollars have been released. They named the states that accepted it and have received it. Right. So not all of them, but most of them. Right. And you missed that part when we were reading that. We read it twice, Ralph. So I don't know how you would not know that or miss it, but no, it's in action. As it's been, we did a follow-up question, and we named also the states that already started breaking ground on the projects, not just receiving the money, but working, people in the streets. And as you see here, Beverly is telling you, and she's asking you to think about this, like you would want someone to think about your comment about based on what you see where you are, because you're not in New Jersey. But Beverly's in New Jersey. She says, if you want to hear it, she says, Ralph, I live in New Jersey in a flood zone, and there has been no flooding, and they are upgrading all of our sewer and to prevent flooding. What that means, Ralph, is that the work has begun. Some areas have already had changes and implementations, while other areas are still waiting to get it. But it's called a rollout. You see, it doesn't just happen on every street every day. As a matter of fact, you first of all need to train people. You first of all need the manpower, the actual trained people to do the manpower, not just the regular work that's needed every day, but the other infrastructure work. You see what I mean? So it's actually when you start off late, those are the kind of strains you take on just from poor decision making. And again, the US has started late on climate change. Now let me go here again, and let's just ask one more question. What nations have major climate change infrastructure projects in already implemented, and which ones began first versus which ones hesitated to do anything, to act? Let's just be very simple here and ask basic questions. And then we can go try to prove them wrong with information. With we can bring some sources together and say, hey, that information is wrong. That's not happening. That's not right. Here's I can show it to you. And I already told you, Ralph, the first nation that even comes up is the nation I'm in. Brother, I've been following this topic for a minute. It's the nation that I'm in. They wanted it first. And when? 1991, Ralph. How old were you, Ralph, in 1991? I can tell you how I was 21. How old were you, Ralph, in 1991? Now, let me blow this up so people can see it. And let's take a listen, right? And if anybody wants to, feels like this is incorrect, then feel free to provide some information about why it's incorrect. But I'm not saying mouth. I'm saying, show me, where is it at? Look, see the sources? United Nations Framework, climate change. I mean, here, at least we know the names and the dates that you can go and get a source from. Check it out.
Many nations have already implemented major climate change infrastructure projects, but their timelines and levels of commitment vary significantly. Here's a breakdown of some countries that have acted early, those that are leading in implementation, and those that have been slower to take action. Countries leading in climate change infrastructure projects. 1. Denmark. Early action. Denmark was one of the first nations to aggressively pursue wind energy. The country built the world's first offshore wind farm in 1991 and has since continued to invest heavily in renewable energy infrastructure. Major projects. Denmark is planning to build 2 large energy islands that will harness wind power to generate electricity for millions of households. Denmark's early focus on renewable energy made it a global leader in wind energy technologies. 2. Germany. Early action. Germany has been at the forefront of climate action since the early 2000s with its Energiewende, energy transition program, aimed at shifting from coal and nuclear power to renewable energy. Major projects. Germany has invested heavily in solar and wind power, as well as energy efficiency initiatives. The country has also started phasing out coal power and significantly reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Its investments in clean energy infrastructure have been substantial and continuous. 3. China. Rapid expansion. China began to aggressively invest in renewable energy in the late 2000s. By 2010, China had become the largest global investor in renewable energy. Major projects. China is the world's largest producer of solar panels and wind turbines. It has also constructed massive solar farms, such as the Tengger Desert Solar Park, and is leading the world in electric vehicle EV adoption. China also launched a nationwide carbon market in 2021 to reduce industrial emissions. 4. United Kingdom. Early action. The UK introduced its Climate Change Act in 2008, which legally committed the country to reducing greenhouse gas emissions. Major projects. The UK is a leader in offshore wind farms, with projects such as Hornsea 1, the world's largest offshore wind farm. It also plans to reach net zero emissions by 2050 and has begun a transition away from coal power. 5. Netherlands. Climate resilience. The Netherlands, with its vulnerability to sea level rise, has been investing in flood protection and water management infrastructure for decades. Major projects. The Delta Works, one of the most sophisticated systems of dams and barriers, has been expanded to include climate resilience measures. The Dutch government continues to focus on reducing emissions through clean energy projects, especially wind and solar power. Countries hesitant or slow to act. 1. United States, pre-2021. Hesitation. While the U.S. has made significant strides under recent administrations, there was a lack of cohesive federal climate policy before 2021. Under the Trump administration, many environmental regulations were rolled back, and the U.S. temporarily withdrew from the Paris Agreement. Current actions. The Biden administration has renewed focus on climate infrastructure with the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act and Inflation Reduction Act to fund renewable energy, EV infrastructure, and climate resilience projects. 2. Australia. Hesitation. Australia has been slow to reduce its reliance on coal, which remains a major part of its economy. The government has been criticized for delaying substantial action on climate change, despite being one of the world's largest per capita emitters. Recent changes. In recent years, there have been signs of a shift, with more investments in renewable energy projects, but climate action has often been delayed by political resistance. 3. India. Hesitation. India has been slower to invest in large-scale climate infrastructure projects due to its developmental needs and reliance on coal for energy. Progress. However, India has recently ramped up renewable energy investments and aims to reach 450 gigawatts of renewable energy capacity by 2030. The country has also undertaken major solar projects, such as the Rewa Solar Power Project. 4. Brazil. Hesitation. Brazil has faced challenges in balancing economic development with climate action, particularly in relation to deforestation in the Amazon rainforest. Challenges. While Brazil has historically been a leader in hydropower, recent governments have been criticized for weakening environmental protections and allowing increased deforestation, which contributes to climate change. Conclusion. Early movers. Denmark, Germany, China, and the UK have been leading the charge with large-scale climate projects for years, focusing on renewable energy and resilience infrastructure. Hesitant actors. Countries like the US, before 2021, Australia, and Brazil have faced political and economic challenges in prioritizing climate change infrastructure, but have taken steps more recently to catch up. For further details, you can explore specific projects and updates through government websites and climate-focused organizations such as the International Energy Agency, IEA, or the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, UNFCCC.
You there, Pumpkin? Pumpkin, say something. Pumpkin, say something. Okay, so I don't know.
Hello, I'm here.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I can't hear you now.
Yes, you can.
I can't hear you. Vic, I don't hear you.
Okay, well, I'm not sure why that is because
I'm here, but I don't hear you.
Okay, so hold on one
Shit,
second.
I can't hear. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Read the message. Read the message.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear
it
you.
was me. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I want to address Ralph with something about New Jersey. New Jersey just got their money, Ralph. We just got them out. When was that thing that you showed? We just got our money. The infrastructure bill has, we have a street called River Street, believe it or not. And like I told you before, it's
Funds went out in
$1 billion.
2021. The funds went out in I think the bill was passed in 2021. And
I mean, this thing you're quoting from, when was that published? Because New Jersey just got their money, you know, and I told Ralph, he's saying that Biden didn't do nothing. Yes, he did. We got the money. They worked by where I used to live. That was a flood zone, major flood. So we had four high-rise public private housing, but it was high-rise. And the water was coming up the steps in the basement, coming all the way up. It knocked out the elevators and everything. So Biden did do it, but Ralph he wants proof. He wants proof. Well, I'm telling you, I'm proof. I'm going to take pictures of the actual signs they put up, because this stuff is so bad. They let it go for so long. It's going to take 18 months, the least, or over 2 years to get the street and the pipes and the pipes, because they're taking all the old lead pipes out. They're taking all the lead pipes out. And, and Ralph seems to think that everybody is lying. Admit it, Ralph, you're wrong on this. Everybody can't be right all the time. MAGA is wrong. Donald Trump is a liar. He never did anything. Anybody who follows anything knows Donald Trump never did anything. He's not going to win the election. Project 2025 is not going to come to be, because people are rejecting it. And I wouldn't be surprised if the House goes back to Democrat, the Senate stays Democrat, and the House goes, because Republicans, everybody's sick of it. Everybody's sick of him and his lies.
You know what?
DeSantis wouldn't take FEMA.
Right, exactly, and that's going to cost them. And you know what? For me, I'm a reasonable person. I don't vote for parties. I vote for policy. And the bottom line is that although I'm a Democrat, if they didn't have progressive policies, I wouldn't be a Democrat. It's just that simple. No one
Me
put a gun to
either.
my head. No one put a gun to
It's
my head and made me become a Democrat. Nobody put a gun to my head and forced it. It's called staying up on the issues. Now, look, to your point, here, this is what I just dug up here. Let's peep this real quick about New Jersey. Not only have they started the rollout, look, has New Jersey began flooding infrastructure rollout? It's really a simple question to ask. Ralph can ask the question. Anyone can ask the question. These people don't want to know, so they don't ask, because in this day with technology, when you ask, you get the answers. The answers are closer to you than they've ever been. You don't have to walk 10 miles to get to the school to find out anymore, like they did in the past generation. No, it's at your fingertips, so there is no excuse for not knowing.
New Jersey has
Bill
begun rolling out climate change infrastructure projects under several key initiatives, focusing on clean energy, climate resilience, and reducing emissions. Key climate change infrastructure initiatives in New Jersey. 1. Offshore wind development. New Jersey Wind Port. New Jersey is investing heavily in offshore wind infrastructure with construction of the New Jersey Wind Port. This project aims to support the development of offshore wind energy.
That's not even the one I wanted.
Yes.
Here, check it out.
New Jersey has begun rolling out flood infrastructure projects as part of its broader climate resilience initiatives. The state is particularly vulnerable to flooding due to its coastal location and increasingly frequent severe storms, such as Superstorm Sandy in 2012. In response, New Jersey has been investing in infrastructure upgrades to mitigate flooding risks and protect communities. Key flood infrastructure initiatives in New Jersey. 1. Resilient NJ Program. New Jersey launched the Resilient NJ Program, a multi-million-dollar initiative to help coastal and flood-prone communities develop local resilience plans. The program is funded by federal and state resources to enhance flood mitigation infrastructure. 2. Blue Acres Program. The Blue Acres Program focuses on purchasing flood-prone properties and converting them into open space to reduce the risk of future flooding. This program has been crucial in relocating residents from areas that are repeatedly affected by flooding. 3. Stormwater management. New Jersey has also updated its stormwater management regulations to require green infrastructure solutions for new developments. These include rain gardens, permeable pavement, and other infrastructure designed to absorb or divert excess water during heavy rains, reducing the impact of flooding. Flood hazard risk reduction projects. Various projects are underway to upgrade aging water infrastructure, including improvements to levees, drainage systems, and water treatment plants. These projects aim to reduce the risk of urban flooding by enhancing the capacity of stormwater systems. 5. Federal funding for flood infrastructure. New Jersey is also utilizing federal funding from the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act to bolster its flood infrastructure. This includes improving coastal defense and upgrading sewer systems to handle increasing storm surges and rainfall, which are expected to worsen due to climate change. These initiatives are part of a broader climate resilience strategy that New Jersey is implementing to safeguard against the impacts of climate change.
There you go. Bev, now you're in New Jersey, right, Beverly? Bev,
Oh,
you there?
wait. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I'm
in
here.
New Jersey, right? You're in New
Right. I'm
Jersey,
in New
right?
Jersey. I
Okay,
lived in a flood zone.
right, exactly.
So,
So it
and
used
I
to be
see what they do. I see what they do. They took all the old sewer system pipes out. They put new. It's because of, I don't know the name of it, but they're doing it. And on this street, River Street, because where it was, and we're located near the Passaic River, where I don't know if you guys, you can look all this up. The Passaic River floods. It's been flooding. My mother moved to New Jersey in the 1930s, and she said it's always flooded when it rained a lot. That's why we went up what they call up the hill and lived on the hill so we wouldn't get flooded out. So Ralph is delusional and a lot of people are. So here's your proof, Ralph. Now what do you think? New Jersey got it. Bill Pascarell, I don't know, Congressman William Pascarell Sr., he died, and he was the mayor of Paterson, the town I was born in. He went to Congress. He got everything that was needed for New Jersey. He got it. He did what he was supposed to. And Biden's name is on this construction. They started the construction, and they're saying that it's going to take 18 months minimum to maybe 2.5 years tops
The
to
rollout.
really get it right.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to get it
And
right.
exactly.
And
And
they're
that
doing it with Biden's money. And if Harris gets in, I'm sure she'll allot more money to it.
it has to continue because first of all, we're dealing with just flooding, which is just one aspect of climate change. You know,
Right.
there's a winter aspect, there's a heat aspect to it. Here's something a lot of people need to think about too. You might be in a house, you might own a house. Is that house made out of wood? Is that roof made out of wood? Because the specifications for tar and the things that you put on a wood house, or even how you treat wood, has changed due to climate change. So those things that people use 50 years ago, if your house was made out of wood 50 years ago, you're going to need some federal funding. You're going to need some assistance. And people that are clever need to pay attention so you can get ahead of the program, not behind. What do you think that's going to do to the value of your house when you had a retirement plan for the people that work hard, for the people not just work hard, but could work, get enough money together to buy a home? And this is their retirement program. Either they're going to live in their home while they're retired, or they're going to sell their home, move somewhere else because they can do that. But economically, it's part of their retirement plan. What do you think is going to happen to those people when it comes time to getting some value out of their house? Have you thought about that, Ralph? That's loads of Americans. What kind of houses do you think our people can afford to buy? Are they all millionaires? Or are we buying houses with outdated infrastructure? Outdated infrastructure for hurricane, outdated infrastructure for heat, outdated infrastructure for flooding. I mean, this conversation, it's just like, don't get me wrong, we need to have a good conversation and we need to have somebody representing the other side. But right now, fuck all of that. It's not the time for that. People need to understand what's at stake for them. And I'm gonna tell you again, you heard it yourself. The country where I live, even though I'm an American citizen, born and raised, again, my family is from the country since the beginning, since the country was founded on both sides. I'm telling you, I'm living in another country, and the country that I live in is the number one country in terms of implementing these changes for climate change. It's the number one. That's why I know a little bit of something about it. I heard it. I wouldn't lie to you, and I'm supposed to inform my American fellow Americans about it. Think about it, because that's what climate change is. Don't think about it in one dimension. You better really think about it. If your grandmama have a home, you better really think about it. If you plan on inheriting that home, you better really think about it. If if you got a car and you live on a street, you better really think about it. You better think about what you want implemented with your tax dollars. You better really think about it. Or do you want somebody who's going to call climate change a hoax? And I really wish I had all the things. I switched programs because that one really deserves you know what I'm saying? Like, it's senseless. Stop saying it's a hoax, because the people that say it's a hoax are the people that need the assistance the most. That's what's really crazy about MAGA. These people aren't rich. These are some broke asses. They some broke asses. Let's call it what it is. Ignorance goes hand in hand with being broke. That's what it is. Like, straight up. How hard could it be if you one up on the next person in terms of your information? How hard could it be? It doesn't mean that you have to be that you're not struggling. You know what I mean? But the difference between being a total broke ass and struggling is how informed you are. Now, stop advocating. People need to stop advocating against policies that are there to aid them in their time of need. So it's just shameful. It's just shameful. But anyway, I can't spend too much time today. I appreciate everybody for coming out, even Ralph. I mean, I'm just speaking my mind about this, but again, I'm trying to be really honest about this. People's lives are in danger. Your home investments are in danger, especially if you're the type of person that passes down a house from generation to generation, from your daddy, from your mama to you, and you think that you're going to use that as an investment, that you're going to sell it. Well, this climate change shit changes it, because guess what? What's your house built out of? Why would somebody want to buy a fucking house that's not even built out of the materials that can last fucking 20 years from now? You out of your mind? Go ahead,
Let,
Pumpkin.
let me let me say this to Ralph. I just said something.
Or
Listen,
not just
Ralph.
Ralph, but just anybody.
No, but in general, but I'm
Yeah.
just addressing him because I just saw what he said. New York, what do you mean New York did? 3 presidents, you got to remember, Republicans blocked everything Barack Obama tried to do. It all boils down to the president. Barack Obama was blocked by the Republicans. Donald Trump did absolutely nothing. And Joe Biden started it. So where you get 3 presidents did nothing. Why is it still flooding up north? It took years for this to happen, and it's not going to be solved overnight. It's
Right.
getting better
The
because where
rollout
I
takes
am,
time.
it's getting better.
Look,
You didn't listen to nothing that
he
Vic
didn't
said
listen to nothing. He
about
didn't listen
one,
to
two,
nothing.
three. You didn't
Look,
listen. It
look.
it starts with, let me finish it. Then I'll be finished.
Yeah,
It
sorry.
started with Biden. Harris is going to get in. She'll do it, and the next one after her, hopefully, will do it, and they'll catch up. The United States is 20 years behind, and mostly in the last 20 years, there were Republican administrations. So it points back to the Republicans not wanting to do nothing. You
And
don't
check.
want to face that.
Yeah, you
So
don't want to face it. And check it out. I'm in the number one country in Denmark. You saw it yourself. The number one country that started climate change rollout. And guess what? We're still only at 70% of the electrical lines for residents and businesses to be underground. We got 70% of the electrical lines underground. When you look out the window, you don't see no line in the street, up in the sky, up in the air, going down through the trees. The trees can't knock the lines over here. And they have 70% now, but that's because they started early. And they started in 1991 with climate change initiatives. The US could have started with it too. The US, instead, what the US did was debate about it, talk about it, and then when they finally got, after they blocked Obama, then when they finally got Trump in, Trump just pulled out of the Paris Accord. He just pulled out of the climate change totally. He pulled the United States government completely out of any climate change accords, any agreements. The citizens should be trying to wring his goddamn neck, because you know what that means about your home? That means your home that your mama or your daddy was planning on passing down to your ass, it might be too late. It might be too late to save that shit. And anybody that's buying a home, they're not going to want to really buy it, because they're going to know that, wait a minute, you ain't even put no infrastructure in this shit. Why should I buy this home when it's going to burn up because of the heat? Why should I buy this home when you live on a street that can be flooded because there's been no investment? What you expect somebody to do? You better start thinking about your life. And I'm not saying that's a Ralph. I'm talking about poor folk, middle class,
there's a whole
hardworking
lot of
people
Ralphs around
better
here.
start thinking about their lives when they think about these bills and they think about who they're electing. You know, and again, I'm saying this, I'm not worried about myself. I ain't even worried about my goddamn kids, because I live in a country that's ahead of every other country on the initiative. You see? So, folks, your vote counts. Your vote counts. But be informed. And You may not have a lot, but you damn sure have a vote and you can make a difference. But if you take your vote as a joke, you may as well take the rest of your life as a joke here, because this climate change is not a game. Again, think about that home you live in. Think about that investment, that house that was passed down to you. Think about the house that you buy cheap and you say, "Hey, I bought this house cheap, man. I could get this house cheap." Okay, but is it going to last? How much you going to have to invest in it? Don't you want some help investing in it? Or are you just like, fuck that. Who cares, man? This wall was made 50 years ago. It don't need any. Don't worry about climate change. These pipes were dug in the outlet in the sewage system in the street for my toilet so I can take a dump. This was done 50 years ago. I don't need no infrastructure. These people are missing it. They're not able to connect the bill to their everyday life. I'm afraid,
All,
Pumpkin.
all our wires, all our telephone pole wires and stuff need to be underground. You wouldn't have people without electricity during the storm if they were underground. It's the
Look at it.
infrastructure.
Look,
It all boils down to infrastructure.
it all boils down to infrastructure. That can happen in a hurricane. It can happen in a snowstorm. You
Yep,
see?
it happens. It happens all the time in New Jersey. The lines freeze and they pop. The weight brings them down, and then people are not only hungry. They're cold, no heat. Can't even start a generator half the time. You know. So Ralph don't know. I don't mean this in a bad way, but he's just
Not particular towards him. It's just people with this thinking that
no,
aren't
I'm just saying in
quick enough on
general,
this thinking, right?
he's so bent on Donald Trump, and there's nothing wrong with that if he supports Trump, but at least be truthful. Trump didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything.
I feel the same way you do. I'm a registered Democrat, but if things were vice versa, and this was the Democratic Party that Donald Trump was in doing this mess, I'd vote Republican. It's that
Why not?
simple.
That's what you're
I'd
supposed
vote
to do.
independent, whatever.
That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to
You know,
do.
it's just the name. It's just the designation. I did it because I was 21 and my family always did it. But I think for myself, I
Well,
voted Republican
but
before.
look,
But
they
you
turned
have to
out.
have a good purpose. Yeah,
But
I'm not going to vote for a Republican that doesn't have my interests at heart.
exactly, I can't do that.
I'm not voting for anybody that don't have my interests at heart.
You know, I feel actually really sorry. A lot of people lost their homes in Florida and in some of these other states, and even in New Jersey, where the infrastructure is not laid down yet. It's people that their homes are being damaged, and these homes were passed down to them, or they spent all their money to save up a little bit of money to put a down payment on it so they can move into it instead of paying for an apartment. Low income workers, middle class workers, that's the life. You ain't moving into one of them new homes. You're moving into an outdated home with that economy. So we're
You
the ones that
know,
need the money the most. We're the ones
I
that need
found
the
out.
assistance the most.
I found out that my childhood home that I grew up in, my I call it my dad's home.
Mhm,
It's for sale, and they have a developer here. Our house was wooden, like
mhm,
when wood was wood, when they really used wood.
mhm.
And I'm afraid he's gonna tear it down, and you
Yes,
know,
that's
he's
what they
gonna tear
look.
it down and put one of those god awful ugly. It's here in Patterson with these developers coming up. I mean, they're putting up these houses 2 or 3 days. A whole house is up. That's not normal.
Look,
That's
you could
really
have
not normal.
some people are going to be lucky, but look, part of the climate change is reducing the emissions so that some of the severe weather patterns can slow down, so that some of the heat can stop heating and becoming extreme. And that's the danger with those wood houses. But it's not the only danger. Flooding will also do it. You see what I mean? It can come.
Yeah,
So people, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by MAGA people talking about HARP or talking. Don't be fooled talking about climate change is a hoax. Don't be fooled. These federal rollouts are the difference between your life and your death for many people, but also your investment for the next 20 to 30 years. Yes. Yes.
New Jersey is very corrupt, especially the town northern New Jersey. It used to be a mafia town.
Yeah,
So
well, the mafia better get up on it. They better get up on it too, because it's like that shit. Those kind of hustles don't. Those are just things that are like they might work here and there, but it's not going to save your entire community. Who you going to hustle when the whole town's been devastated? Mafia, try going down to Florida and see if you can swindle people out of a couple of dimes. Where are the people? You know what I'm saying? It's like it doesn't work. You know, what
yeah,
happened to your gambling casino behind the corner store? You think somebody going to be going through there if you don't have electricity? What about how they going to sit up in there? I mean, it's like these are things that should be climate change should be universal to everyone, even the goddamn mafia. You know what I'm saying? you know, the mafia might even be more progressive than Trump on this issue. You see what I mean? Like they should be. They should be. If they want to own some property, if they want to make some investments, you see what I mean?
yeah,
If they want to run some businesses, I mean, I don't know. But in any case, Bev, I appreciate you coming up. I gotta go because I
yeah. I
gotta.
gotta go. I gotta go. And my phone is working. I got an Android, and I do not know how to answer the phone when people call. I gotta figure out how to answer it. I got your message. Yeah, my phone is working. Just keep calling. Eventually, I'll figure out how to answer it.
Okay, okay.
Because
Yeah.
I don't know. I got an Android. I hate this Android, but I owed T-Mobile said I owed them $500. I ain't got
Well,
$500 to
that's how
hand nobody.
technology is. That's technology. You get some new technology, it
No,
takes a year
that
to
ain't
figure it out.
technology. That's greedy ass corporate trying to get everybody's damn money. Every time you turn around, they give me a payment plan, and but then they add $60 on it because they claim I got 3 lines. I'm like, where the hell I got 3 lines? I keep telling y'all I ain't got 3 lines. So I gave it up. I went to the Android. I went to Boost Mobile. They gave me the phone for free and $50 plan every month. So, but
Oh,
I'm going
lucky.
back to Apple. I love Apple. I gotta go now because I'm getting ready to go out. All
Okay.
right, good talking
All
to
right.
you.
All right. I
I'm gonna
appreciate
try
you.
this one out, man. All right, bye bye.
All right. Yeah, and I appreciate everybody. I mean, even I appreciate I don't agree with the comments made by Ralph about this, but it's not him, it's just him saying this. We got to be serious. We have to take things serious, like we're a part of the system. When it comes to federal aid in this climate change shit, if you're a poor or middle class person that somehow just happen to find yourself in a home that your family that you inherited or that you just saved up some pennies to buy, you need to be thinking about this climate change because the winter, the cold, the storms, the flooding, the heat is coming for your fucking house. You better get it through your goddamn fucking heads, you MAGA people, and you black MAGA people. You need to get it through your fucking heads and get down with science. So when the federal government says, hey, we want to support you, you better be up for it. When the federal government says, yeah, infrastructure plan for climate change, we're going to help get some sewage, better sewage, so the water can get out. We want to help you with your home so you can upgrade it so it can survive certain types of situations. We want to do the infrastructure on your block so the electrical lines can be buried under the ground. So in some of these floodings or some of these snowstorms where they knocking down the trees, you can still at least have fucking electricity. Don't you want your old ass family member to have electricity in an emergency, in a snowstorm, in a hurricane, in a flood situation? You mean you don't even fucking want that? Y'all not thinking? You better start thinking 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line. Yes, y'all. Any case, I'm out. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I don't always get so passionate about stuff, but this is about innocent people's lives. We got to have a little more compassion for people. There has to be a point where the stupid shit drops. And I never like stupid shit, but I'll listen to some of it if it means I can have a conversation and enlighten some people. But right now is not the time for it. People, pay attention to what you're doing, pay attention to what you're voting for. Vote for people that are serious about your lives. Vote for parties that are serious about your lives. Don't vote for jokers that think climate change is a fucking hoax. Because you might be worried about the immigrant, but you need to be worried about your fucking home right now. Right now. Because you ain't going to be giving that home to your kid if you ain't getting that street and that infrastructure plan on your streets. You won't be. If you don't get a little assistance to upgrade your home for flooding, you know what I'm saying? Things like this, you may not be, nobody gonna want to buy your home as an investment because it's old. You see what I'm saying? You have to think it through. Anyway, y'all, I hope everybody is safe in the storms. Yo, we got to take better care of each other, and it starts here. Peace. Yeah.
With this eclectic organic style, activating your goosebumps and making you smile. It feels good the way the bass and keys flow together. At the same time, it's raining in sunny weather. The beat's popping, the guitar is sweet. Quite unique the way we raise the levels, but they don't peak. Bringing you to another musical orgasm. Moving your fat butt starts to spasm. Don't panic, we take the game to another planet. The earth's getting hot and we still grooving, damn it. The way we think it makes the frequency soothing. At a calm and steady pace we keep moving, cause the movement and information is quite progressive. Dropping the rap in a way you can study the method. We glad cause the mission is to be thought-provoking. Examining how you do your thing, the slogan.